Carmelo gon' be just fine. God gon' see about this in his own time. Hold your head high, don't let him steal your life. Carmelo gon' be just fine tonight. Peace be still, peace be still. That's just how we feel. Peace be still, peace be still. Keep your faith for real. Storm clouds hanging, people talking every day. Everybody got opinions, got something to say. But we praying for the truth wherever it may lead. Praying for the family and everybody's needs. Know we tapped in, we watching every move. Trying to stay together while the world keeps choosing sides to prove. Somebody hurting, somebody crying, that's the truth. So we asking God for wisdom while we're searching for the proof. Carmelo gon' be just fine. God gon' see about this in his own time. Hold your head high, don't let him steal your life. Carmelo gon' be just fine tonight. Peace be still, peace be still. That's just how we feel. Peace be still, peace be still. Keep your faith for real. Stay strong, little bro, don't give up the fight. The Most High still working in the dark and in the light. Family standing with you, love standing too. Keep your faith in the storm till you make it through. When the pressure gets heavy and the nights get long, remember every trial ain't where you belong. Keep your eyes on them all, keep your heart on God. One step at a time, keep moving through it all. We ain't giving up, we ain't backing down. Love gonna lift us when we're feeling on the ground. Hands to the heavens, prayers in the sky. Trusting in the truth as the days go by. Carmelo gon' be just fine. God gon' see about this in his own time. Family coming, faith coming too. The strength of the Most High gonna carry you. Peace be still, peace be still. That's just how we feel. Peace be still, peace be still. Keep your faith for real. Carmelo, stay strong. Keep holding on.
All right. Okay, so let's have a brief word from our sponsor at 12 Tribes, and then we'll get started. Here we go.
Do not buy 12 Tribes on Earth hair growth oil and hair magic elixir unless you want super healthy, gorgeous hair that grows. They have a whole line of amazing hair growth products, including hair growth leave-in conditioner spray, hair growth shampoo, hair growth spray, and hair growth butter. I'm starting to sense a theme here. They include quality natural ingredients. They smell amazing, and you can see the results for yourself. So if you're looking for healthy hair growth for your natural or relaxed hair, try 12 Tribes on Earth today.
Okay, so let's just get right into it, honey. Okay, so the lounge, tell us what you know because you were in court. Okay, and so you got to see what was going on. Tell us what happened, honey, because I think I saw this interview that Jeff Metcalf did. Now he's the real watermelon felon if you ask the queen. But I saw this interview he did with Chris Cuomo, and he is beyond mad. Okay, so tell us all about what went down.
I seen that interview, but yes, I seen Jeff Metcalf. Actually, he was in line. He had his little two security guards. Being Javale, he showed me. He's like, "Oh, Jeff is over there." So we went. I seen Jeff, his two security guards, Megan, the mother, I think she was with her boyfriend, and there was like kind of a line of people going into the other courtroom. So I sat in the overflow courtroom. I didn't sit in the actual courtroom where Carmelo
Mm-hmm.
and everything took place. What it looked like. So
Mm-hmm.
on the cameras, I'm sorry, on the TV, they had the TVs in the overflow courtroom. So when Carmelo walked in, he had on a suit, apples, and I guess they asked the judge if it's okay that they remove the shackles and handcuffs, and I believe they asked the guards, and it wasn't no problem, so they uncuffed him. So he sat down. He was sitting down and just pretty much waiting for everything to start. Difficulties. They were saying Judge Roach was watching. So every time they would go and try to refresh the screen, the lady that was sitting next to me, she said, look, next time. She said, look at the top of the screen. Judge Roach is watching. And I was like, what? I was like, I didn't see that. So the next time the TV screen acted up, you could see him. So I'm like, wow. Okay, he's watching. Okay, he's about to see this show because I'm telling you, Attorney Russell gave them 100, pieces and a million biscuits to go. It was out. I mean, he was awesome and amazing. So, Carmelo, he looked like he looked like, I couldn't say good spirits or anything.
Mm-hmm.
Great and amazing that he was. I mean, he was tuned all the way in, I could say. So to the right of Carmelo, if I'm looking straight, the right of Carmelo, that's where attorney Russell Wilson was sitting. Then
Mm-hmm.
it was the other attorney. I don't remember his name, but he's the older white guy. And then to the left of him was a younger, the black attorney. I don't know them by name, so I'm sorry if I don't know their names.
That's okay.
And
Yeah.
then behind them three, I'm sorry, behind them four, it was the other attorney that was in the video with Dominique after everything happened yesterday. He did a little press conference. It was that
Mm-hmm.
attorney, and then it was a female attorney sitting next to him. So that's kind of like the setup and how they were sitting at the table. So then we
Okay.
started, pretty much started out, and I'm reading from my notes. I have a lot of notes, but I do want to highlight just some things. But the main thing I want to highlight is the bad acts. When I say, you guys,
Oh.
it was terrible, and they hid this because they didn't want Carmelo to have a fair trial. They were trying to, I mean, cover all these bad things that these twins had
Mm-hmm.
have done. They were trying to cover it up, and then they were saying, well, we're going to do this gentleman's agreement, and the gentleman's agreement basically was a whole railroad plan to railroad Carmelo into basically not getting on the stand and speaking for himself, and also to cover up all the bad acts that the twins
Austin.
had did. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
all the bad.
Yes,
I
and his
mean,
brother. Yes.
oh my goodness, y'all. The courtroom, they were told us, we had to be quiet, but everybody was like sighing, like when attorney Russell was reading them their rights and reading, so you're telling me this, you're telling me that, and everybody's like, and we were even, I'm not even gonna lie, some of us were kind of talk loud whispering, I guess, per se. So it was crazy. So let me kind of start from like the beginning. Let me see. um okay, the judge came on the stand, of course, and kind of talked and kind of introduced himself a little bit, but I really
Mm-hmm.
want to just jump straight to the history of these boys because they were terrible. They were so terrible. So he started going off on a list of all the bad stuff that these boys had done. And I'm saying, I believe it was like 20 pages of bad acts that he had, much down as I could, but I think it was like 20 pages or more. And Russell was going through, like, kind of skipping around and going through
Mm-hmm.
like different ones, more like highlighting the worst ones. But it says, I couldn't even believe this. I was like, whew, it's a lot. So let me see. It's a lot. Okay, hold on. Let me just flip my page because I highlighted
Now,
it. Hold on.
Now, while you get that together, let me just say this to people who don't realize how they lied on Carmelo. Because for those of you who missed the morning broadcast when I talked about it, so they basically said that Carmelo, that the reason they made this gentleman's agreement is because to hide the bad acts of Austin and Hunter and as well as Carmelo. So they
Mhm.
alleged that Carmelo basically on the day of the incident, which was April the 2nd of 2025, they said that morning his girlfriend reported him to the principal saying that he was stalking
Mhm.
her because they broke up and that he sent her a picture of a knife and some violent text messages and all that stuff. And
Mhm.
I knew immediately that was a lie because I literally just read you all the transcripts just the other day. And in the
Mhm.
transcripts, Mike Howard clearly states in his opening statement that Carmelo was a son, a brother, a friend, and a boyfriend. The lawyer, his defense attorney, admitted that she was still his girlfriend. And then people even told me on TikTok yesterday or last night that she was in court with his family
Mhm.
and she was holding the mom's hand. Now I'm
Yes.
like, okay, where are they getting this from? They're just making this up. Now, if it did happen, it darn sure didn't happen that same day. And also, I knew it was a lie because Carmelo got to the track meet early that day because
Mhm.
he was going to help the disabled kids. But go
Mhm.
ahead, honey. This is all
Yes,
very.
it's a mess. And let me start out before I start reading all of their bad acts that was presented. And this is not all of them because I it was so much I couldn't even write fast enough. I
Mm-hmm.
wish I was able to record it because it was just that much. But let me say this: Melo's attorney and also his co-counsel. I forget his name, but
Toby Shook.
yeah, Toby Shook.
Toby Shook. Yeah.
So I'm just gonna kind of like paint the picture for you guys of across
Mm-hmm.
to like to start because in my opinion and a lot of people's opinion in the courtroom, they were saying Worski is a bully. He's a narcissist, he's a bully, and he wanted to do this all and this is what he planned to do. He planned to railroad Carmelo. Him and Judge Roach are the
Two
I
main
only
culprits.
yes, the main culprits. And they just, I mean, it was so sickening how much bullying they do there in Collins County between Worski and Judge Roach. So basically, they teamed up. They got Howard, Mike Howard, of course, he was selected to be, Carmelo's attorney. And what they did was took him in and they try to be like, because you see, as you guys all can see, Mike Howard, he's very like a soft spoken, like, scary person. And I'm telling you, when he was on the stand, when they were doing cross examination, Mike Howard was so scared of Worski, it was a shame. It
Are
was
you
a
serious?
shame, a shame, a shame. So he was scared of them. And basically, the gentleman's deal was basically bullied to me and put on them because it's like y'all are going to do what we tell you to do and y'all are going to do it the way we want to do it. So it's like they had to adhere to that. And this is why a part, of course, of the gentleman's agreement. That's why they got to railroad him. Because had it been attorney Russell, he wouldn't been going for that. I'm not signing no deal. I'm not gonna tell
Right.
you how to, how to
Run your
yeah, I'm
case.
not
Right.
gonna, run your game. I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna run my game and let you run your game. Whatever we need to talk about, that's cool, fine, and dandy. But Worski is a super bully, and so is Judge Roach. And I hope that they do some kind of legal action towards them too, because I'm telling you, and he's very narcissistic, very bullying when he was delivering his side of the testimony. But let's get to the
Mm-hmm.
bad acts, you guys. These bad acts
Yeah,
are
let's get to it, honey.
terrible. So it says, they had a bad history. It says, let me see. Carmelo's attorney, which is Russell, shows the Metcalf history of bad behavior and triple K and the end with the hard
Mm-hmm.
R
Mm-hmm.
behavior. It said the body cam footage of the graffiti of them spray, the racist graffiti, spraying the racist graffiti was the Metcalf twins. They basically had the body cam footage of that. It says
Mm-hmm.
Austin
Oh, they showed it? Hold on. Let me interrupt for a second. Did they show the body cam footage?
no, they didn't. They didn't show the
Oh, okay,
footage.
okay.
Yeah, they didn't show
Mm-hmm.
any videos. The only evidence
Okay.
they presented was just documents of the
Mm-hmm.
long laundry list of all of these bad acts that they had. Then it says, okay, they seen Austin on the body cam, admitting to the triple K, and then he was writing unalive K, K, black people, and K,
Yeah,
the
just
yeah,
so
and
y'all know, he said red rum all black people.
mm-hmm,
That's what he said.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So it says Austin saying kill the MFer, because there was a situation with he had with another, I guess, he had some situation, but this is the rhetoric and stuff that he was saying, kill this MFer. I'm sorry,
Mm-hmm.
unalive this MFer. So it says Austin, they said Austin approached Carmelo in the tent. We already knew that this is what exactly would happen, because remember,
Yeah.
everybody was going in and saying that, Austin, that they jumped Carmelo, and they said, no, he wasn't jumped. Or he wasn't. Yes, Carmelo was jumped, and it was presented yesterday in court. So Austin
Mm-hmm.
approached Carmelo in the tent. It says Hunter confronted Carmelo first. Then it said Austin said, Halo to Hitler, and had graffiti with the triple K on it too.
Mm-hmm.
And I was kind of jumping around because, like I said, he was just going off the list. So it's just kind of like a little all over the place. But these are the things that was highlighted. And then he
Mm-hmm.
says, under the tent, he said, unalive Carmelo. It says Hunter was the first person, Hunter was the first person to uh approach Carmelo. And it says
Mm-hmm.
the Mike Howard says that these twins were basically, I mean, they were like twins. They were, one would start something and the other one would finish. He said it numerous times. They both worked in concert. So one would start some stuff and the other one would finish it. And that's exactly what happened under that tent. So it says
Mm-hmm.
the Metcalf twins, they were jumping kids, multiple kids. It says Hunter said, let's jump him on a separate day. Talk, this is just like I said, just different things off the list of bad acts
Mm-hmm.
that they had. It says they were bullies. I put as my notes, I said they were bullies, OMG. And they were recording beating up people, beating up other kids. They were beating up other black kids and recording it. So it says the boys got banned from the track meet and wasn't supposed to be there. They were suspended. So they were not supposed to be at that track meet that day. They got
Mm-hmm.
suspended. It says they then did a pretend suspension on the boys. So they were always trying to cover and shelter these boys. For some reason, they were like scared of these boys. Like it seemed like the school was scared of the boys, the parents were scared of the boys, like everybody was scared of these boys for some reason. They're like really, really bad boys.
What
So it
about the
says,
time when they let me ask you this. What about the time that Austin, I believe it was, said
mhm,
something about bringing a gun to the school? I'm like, how did he get expelled for that? And calling the
mhm.
teachers fat
Yeah.
bitches.
Yes. Yes. And then they said it was gonna take so long to pull all the history. But yes, this is all the history. This is all the things that were going on at that school. And I'm like, nobody is bold enough to stop these boys, put them on punishment, tell them that they can't even come back to the school. I mean, since when do kids run the show at the school? Like these boys were
Clearly.
so terrible. They were like, seemed like they were scared of them, grown adults. I'm like, this is crazy. And y'all say
Mm-hmm.
that Carmelo was, he's a, unaliver. He's this,
Right.
he's that.
They act like he was not supposed to be afraid, like he's supposed to just fight him. That's what you hear so many people saying, oh, he should have just fought him. Even
Yep.
some black people, they sound so ridiculous. There were more than twice his, or at least twice his size.
Yep.
And there was four of them.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, it was crazy. I'm telling you, it was crazy. Then they mentioned that Austin Metcalf had over 300 fighting channels that he subscribed to on his phone. 300. So he loved to fight. He loved to be a bully. He loved to call black people the N word with the hard R on it. And
Mm-hmm.
they said I said they were asking who was the aggressor, and then they would have to like figure that out because of course, like I said, they were covering on all the bad acts that these kids, the twins did, because they didn't want that to come out, because I mean 20 pages of bad acts, and said basically in so many words, I'm just like summarizing. He basically
Mhm.
said that Worski basically found the little situation with that, with his girlfriend, with Carmelo and his girlfriend in his phone, and he found that little story and tried to blow it up and conjugate a story because he could
Yeah.
not find anything else. They were
You
scraping and
couldn't find any
scrambling.
dirt.
Yes, they were scraping and scrambling, and then they had the, the knife situation, and that happened
Mhm.
like I think 2 years ago, 2024 or something like that. So it wasn't no recent situation that
Yeah,
could
but they
even be,
reported it.
yeah, even be
They
like
reported that it happened that
conjoined.
same day. Mhm.
Yeah. So that was so old. They couldn't do anything. So that's why they made up the lie about the girlfriend. He was stalking the girlfriend. And they said, no, that was not even the case. I mean, these people are, I'm telling you, they are so, they're bullies. And I really hope that they can put some type of like complaint or something, because this like needs to stop. It was bad. It was really crazy. So then
Hold on.
the
Okay,
judge,
go ahead. Go ahead. Mhm.
so then the attorney was talking about the old school files kept in Judge Roach's chambers, and
Mhm.
that they were never stamped, because of course whenever you have a case, especially a murking case, these everything needs to be on record, it's submitted into the record. And this is what they were not doing. And this was a part of the gentleman's agreement, because they were saying they didn't want people to know what was going on, because it goes
Mhm.
back to one black male that was the PR person. They fired him. So they were trying to say, from what I can recall, and I have to make sure, I believe this is what I gather. There was a black gentleman, PR guy. He was like he actually sent, I think it's the attorney you had on there, a Christian.
Mhm.
Yeah, he's
You
I
talking about
believe he
Chris
sent,
Chris King.
yeah, Chris King, because his
Yeah.
name came up. Yeah. So Chris King, I believe he sent Chris King a copy, I believe, of the trial dates or something like that.
Mhm.
And according to what Judge Roach said and Worski, they pulled him into the chambers. So he said that Judge Roach was going in on him for 6 minutes. He said he was scared. He said that he was Judge Roach was threatening him, saying you can go to jail. He's gonna send him to jail for like 6 months or something like that. He said he was, I think he started crying. He was like scared. And I'm like, these people are bullying even the employees. This
Hold
is
on.
crazy. Yes,
Hold on.
yes.
Who was he threatening to send to jail for 6 months?
The PR person that supposedly sent Christian Keys, is his name
Oh.
Christian? The yeah,
Or
the
sending Chris King the
King,
information.
yes.
Mm.
The Carmelo's, I guess, dates that for his
That
trial,
he was going to
which
right.
which um attorney Russell, he pulled up the document, and it showed that that wasn't a violation, because they put a gag order on this case. So they were saying, had a whole list, a document saying, what's in the gag order. So
Mhm.
Russell came back after he, while he was had this gentleman on the stand. I didn't get his name, but he had this
Mhm.
gentleman on the stand, and he said, well, basically this was the agreement. Here's the gag order. And then he highlighted, it said, these things are okay to put out. And he highlighted the list of the court hearing like dates. Is not, nothing that you can't send out. It's not like, proprietary information. If somebody
Mhm.
calls, he's able to send it out. Of course, it's public information. So he didn't violate anything. But I think what the thing is that it was because it's Christian. He was a black, Christian King is black. That guy, the PR guy, was black. So I felt like he was thinking that he was probably sending information to Christian about the case, but that what he sent, it wasn't no violation. So he said he walked in the chamber with Judge Roach and Worski, and basically fired him on the spot. He said he had a manila folder and his document in there, basically saying that he's fired, and he fired him. And he said he hasn't been to work since, until, I mean, not been to work, been to that courthouse ever since he got fired. And that was crazy, because I was like, why did he not want to him to send that? It's okay, it wasn't a violation. So that's one of the arguments that that Attorney Russell was, presenting, basically saying that they lied and said that he sent out this document, that it was, basically like proprietary information, that it shouldn't have been sent out, and it wasn't no violation. So
Right.
let me see. Austin. Okay, so it says Austin used the N-word on Snapchat. Oh, it says Eddie turned his back on Carmelo. So this is another thing that he did. Look at Worski. So Worski, Mike Howard had some the people that were going to testify. So he said he spoke to them first, right? And he said he got their statements or whatever. So he said after Worski talked to the people who are going to testify, their stories changed. So he was bullying all the people that got up there to testify. I think he was scaring all of them, bullying and telling them, "You
Yeah, of
better say
course.
this. Yeah, you better say that." So I knew they all were lying, because what they were saying wasn't like really adding up to the truth.
With Jeff Metcalf.
Okay.
I want to hear what all he had to say, because I know he
Okay.
was butthurt, because I read about it. They
Oh,
said that
yeah.
he had his head down in his hands. Hold on.
Mm-hmm.
This overlay of race because he was black and the other kids were white. But once you got into the facts, it seemed to be a pretty straight line analysis of a kid who decided to stab someone that he was in a disagreement with to death. The person he was disagreeing with was Austin Metcalf. And you'll remember the jury didn't have a single black person on it, and that was an issue, but the judge had dealt with it and said this case has nothing to do with race, so why would the race complexity of the jury matter? And that is true under the law. That is true under the law. You'd have to find that you were intentionally keeping people of a certain race off for a certain reason, and that didn't seem to be here. Now, though, that judge is gone, not because of that per se, but because of his extrajudicial comments, which is where he gave an interview after the case, and he was asked if he thought the jury got it right, and he said, yes, whatever they come up with, they got it right, and that hurt their client. And so there's a new judge who's weighing whether or not to grant Anthony another trial. And something came out today that is very, very unusual. An agreement between Carmelo's lawyer and the prosecutors to not put information about both boys' backgrounds into the trial. This is very weird because there's now a bunch of alleged information about Austin Metcalf in the air that is very ugly stuff. Imagine if this is your kid, he's gone, and now.
First of all, don't sit here and tell a sad story and talking about a bunch of stuff in the air and allegations. These are facts.
Yeah, exactly.
This stuff is all documented, okay? Yes. And at the end of the day, this is who he was. What are they supposed to do? Lie, withhold the truth because he's deceased? It is his behavior and his history and pattern of behavior that has led to his own demise.
Oh,
facts.
Kind of like he's being put on trial. I wanted to talk to his father about it, and Jeff Metcalf agreed and joined to come on to discuss it. Jeff, thank you for taking the time and the opportunity.
Thank you, Chris. Glad to be here with you tonight.
So, you know everything I know and more. What do you make of the developments that we saw today?
I mean, it's another procedural trial hearing, just like yesterday for the judge. Today is for, talk about the retrial, if they're going to grant that or not. Yeah, information did come out. I'll be honest, as a father, I was disappointed, very disappointed in seeing those things. But
hold on, let me stop right there, because first of all, I find it very interesting that he wants to say that as a father, he was very disappointed in seeing those things. What you should have been disappointed in is the way you raised your son to be thugs. Okay,
exactly.
These two thuggish, ruggish bones had a whole history of nefariousness. Okay, calling people the N-words, taking videos of black people eating bananas, trying to imply they're monkeys. Okay, they were just stereotypical, and he is stereotypical. Here's the thing. They had to go and dig and make up lies about Carmelo because, like I told you all already, the stereotypes that they put on us, that's what they are. Jeff
Mhm.
Metcalf, Megan Metcalf, and their sons are stereotypical, just like the same things they say about us. Okay,
Mhm.
they're ghetto. Austin and
Mhm.
Hunter were both ghetto,
Yep.
hood rat thugs,
Yep.
racist and hateful. Okay, and
Mhm.
that's just the facts of the matter. Now, they can call Carmelo a watermelon felon, but at the end of the day, his sons were arrested as teenagers.
And no matter what the outcome of this is, my son's never coming home. So
I understand, and I think you've been incredibly strong in how you have stood up and what you've talked about and what you've said. And when you say it was disappointing, are you disappointed in what you heard, or are you disappointed that you heard it at all and that it's part of this situation?
just disappointed as a father. I mean, we all want our children to be, you know, the best they can be. And obviously we all fall short. But, you know, to see that information that I had never actually seen before, but I knew at some of the incidents, we had dealt with it at home. But I'm just saying, I'm just very disappointed in what I saw from my sons. And it still doesn't change the facts of the case. And that's what, and this foundation, because I'll be honest, when I left today, I was very angry when I left court. Well, one of the things I'm teaching with this foundation is impulse control, you know, and de-escalation and to regulate your emotions. Well, it took me 15 minutes today driving home to get my emotions in check. I can understand how people can make a split-second decision and it can be the wrong one. And it can put someone in a grave or someone in a cell. And that's why this foundation is why I started it, the Austin Metcalf Foundation. So we don't have situations like this. So people don't feel like I feel today. Because I'm telling you as a parent, you don't ever want to feel this pain. And nor would I wish this upon my worst enemy. And to sit there and watch my son be dragged through the mud again today, the same stuff that was said for 14 months. If you want to try to assassinate character, it's do what you think is right. But at the end of the day, the facts are very simple. He stabbed an unarmed child to death. And that's it. End of story. You can make up whatever color, whatever happened. Whatever happened 4, 5, 6 years ago had nothing to do with what happened that day underneath that tent.
Jeff, what do you think of the prospect of a new trial?
To be honest, I'll say the same thing as I said yesterday. It's 50-50. It's either going to be granted or denied. I'm fine with either one. So I don't put a whole lot of thought process into that. I'm really putting a lot of thought process because this whole week has kind of put me on hold and not being able to work with my foundation. My foundation is my purpose, my mission. This is what's going to save lives. This is what's going to keep this from happening again. I just want to touch other people's lives and change the world one person at a time. If I can save one life, I'm a success. But if I can't, I'm a failure.
Listen, I think that the judgment is in the effort, brother, not in the outcomes. If you're trying to help people and you're trying to help them de-escalate and in the ways that you say that the AMF is going to be about, the effort is the standard, not the outcomes. All you can do is try to make a difference, and you're clearly doing that. Here's something I wanted to ask you, get your take on this. Look, the information about your son, true or untrue, I get why you don't need to hear it in this setting and you don't want to hear it as a parent. I get you. I'm one as well. But the stuff about Carmelo Anthony and what he said to his girlfriend about wanting to stab somebody and the imagery, the fact that they made a deal to not have that come in, rarely is the victim's character relevant. But the defendant's character is always relevant. And I just thought that was a bizarre deal to make. What do you think about that?
Well, I mean, I wasn't privy. I didn't know it went down. I thought he was going to testify. And so after the trial, it was explained to me, because I was expecting more information to come out. And they said, well, both sides agreed not to bring character into it, which to me, it made sense, because really what we're looking at is what happened that day underneath the tent. What they did 4 or 5 years ago, I don't think it has relevance as far as what's happening today, because I'll ask everybody out there. I'm 61 now. I am not the same person when I was 18 or 19. I don't know anyone who doesn't grow and learn and create mistakes. Of course. Mistakes are always made, but we try to minimize the damage. Because
just say this, okay? Because first of all, I like Chris Cuomo's nerve. Now he's sitting here trying to act as though what Carmelo did 2 years ago, however long ago it was worse. First of all, he just talked trash and said words. He didn't do whatever he said, okay? And then he's bringing up a knife. So what I read was that he sent a picture of a knife. Okay, that's a far cry than bringing a knife to school, which is what they said Austin did, and also talking about bringing a gun to school and then telling people to kill all Black people. Okay, make that make sense, and spraying racist graffiti and assaulting people numerous of times, so much so that he was on probation. Do y'all know they were on probation on the day of the incident? They were supposedly on probation on the day of the incident with Carmelo. Now, Chris Cuomo sitting here saying that's a bizarre deal. Well, here's the bottom line. The reason for the deal is because they wanted to secure that Carmelo was going to be railroaded and go to prison for a lengthy amount of time. And so in order for them to secure that, they had to make Austin seem like he was some angel, and they couldn't have let his nefarious past come out, because had they let the jurors know that he was a whole racist and had been known for assaulting Black folk and doing all sorts of other nefarious things, including cursing out his teachers, beating up his own father, threatening his own mother, had they known all of that, then that shows he has a history and a propensity towards violence. Okay, and so easily that may have swayed their decisions, because they may have felt like, okay, well, maybe he did instigate this whole situation with Carmelo on that day. So Chris Cuomo, stop trying to act stupid as if you don't get it. Okay, he is so fake. Now, hold on. Y'all's Children says, peace, queen, just showing love and blessings. Hashtag free Carmelo. Also, could we get the queen's likes up? She deserves it. Thank you, beloved. I appreciate your kind words and your contribution. Peace, love, and blessings. Yes, can we please get the likes up? Doesn't cost you a single thing.
Told my sons this: you're free to make any choice you want in life, but you're not free from the consequences.
Yep.
Now,
amen.
I forgave
you are right,
Carmelo. Now, I didn't forget. I didn't forgive him for him. I gave him for me. So I'll have peace. So I'll have, so Understood. I can go on and move forward. This is not going to keep me prisoner. So, whatever came out about him, I'm not trying to draw conclusions. I don't have all the facts, all the stuff they have on him. I do know it was a 75-page document.
Yeah.
And what I saw today was disturbing. I'm not going to lie. I didn't know that. I didn't know it existed.
I understand, and now we know, and we'll see what it will mean. But Jeff, you'll always have a platform here, and thank you for doing it, and good luck with AMF. Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our News Nation app right.
Chris Cuomo, sit down somewhere acting like you really... This is all just a farce, okay? Nicole's playing the world's smallest violins. Exactly. Okay, exactly. Okay, now somebody said Nancy Grace is on code. Of course she is. Of course she is. Love Chris said they always look at Black person's past when they are the victim, so he can miss me. Exactly. And that's my whole thing. Now he's acting like it's so much worse that they brought up Austin's past. Well, they should have brought it up. Austin started the whole thing. And if you ask me, Austin is not the victim. He's the aggressor. Carmelo was the victim. Just because he lived to fight another day doesn't mean he's not the victim. Anytime you're assaulted, somebody puts their hands on you, you are the victim. And that's just a fact. Okay? You are the victim, period. But go ahead, beloved. Tell us some more. And then I'm going to go to Nick at Night and Willie D, because Willie D was down there, honey. I couldn't believe it.
I know I miss Willie D. Me and Jamil was like, man, we missed him. I wish we would have seen him. But I did speak with Nick at Night. I did speak with NC, the Beat, North Carolina Gerald. And I did speak with Tiffany Billions. Tiffany Billions was actually sitting behind me. And then also another gentleman, I didn't get to speak with him, but the one that was went to the school to see the video too, to the Frisco
Mhm.
ISD. He was there too. I didn't speak with him, but Christian, I said one person next to him. It was me, some lady, and then it was Christian next to her. So it was, yeah, it was a packed house. But kind of back to the bad acts, I couldn't believe this because we know Eddie Para was, talking bad about Carmelo, and Mike Howard
Mhm.
said that he basically turned his back on Carmelo. So, all these people turning their back on Carmelo was feeling like, whoa, I thought was my friends. But really and truly, from what the testimony came out yesterday from Mike Howard, he said, of course, that Worski was the one basically going and basically, to me, I feel like, and these are just my words, threatening them to say what he wanted them to say because they were trying to pin Carmelo. I mean, they were trying to like really give him, the business as far as the sentence. So I believe Worski was just doing this to all of the witnesses so he can, paint his narrative and get Carmelo sent out. But Eddie Para, who was so, on the stand talking about this, talking about that, Carmelo like basically turning his back. How about he was being called the N-word too
Yeah, I heard about that.
by,
I heard about that. Exactly. So dumb. Okay, please make it
I
all make
said,
sense. He
I
had to
was,
be scared of them.
yeah, they were. And it was crazy, but they said the parents there was parents that made complaints about the boys, but nothing ever happened. It says there was an email, Hunter and I think Xavier should be kept apart. This was one of the bad acts. So I guess he was getting into it with a student. So I guess there was an email and it said that, yeah, Hunter and Xavier should be kept apart because of violence due to Hunter's behavior. So this says, I just put these boys were bullies, and that I think it was one of the boys got arrested at Austin was arrested. I think it was Austin. One of them got arrested at age 10. And it says, let me see. They kept out all of the things, of course, with the boys.
Wait a minute.
Um,
Wait a minute. What did he do at the age of 10 that got him arrested?
I didn't catch that part, but I did say it did say, oh, he I don't know, I think this is a part, I'm not sure if these situations
Just,
were like the
oh,
same. Yeah. It's crazy, right?
those boys were a menace to that town. I'm reading the comments. Okay.
Yes. He was
DJ, the
arrested
True
at
TV.
10. And then I had to ask the person sitting next to me, I said, did they say he was arrested at 10 years old? And they said, yeah. So that's why I was in midstream of writing that sentence. And I was like, arrested at 10? Yes, he was arrested at 10 years old. I said, that is crazy. These boys were menace. I mean, they were menace to societies as soon as they came out the womb, from what I was hearing from Attorney Russell going down this list.
Mhm.
And we were only on number 52 by the time he ended speaking about it because it was so bad. People were sighing like, oh my God, talking, and, kind of loud, like talking almost. They have to keep on telling us to be quiet because we were so shocked as to how all of this stuff did not come into play. But we know that the gentleman's agreement was in effect. It
This
was
is
crazy.
crazy. So you mean to
Yes.
tell me
It was crazy. Then they said Austin and Hunter assaulted a woman, and she reported that. They said that there was evidence of them selling rugs, but the rugs were like mushrooms. So I don't know anything about that, but they were saying that was,
goodness.
yeah, they said that was that was, uh, uh how can I say it? It was substances, but they said it was mushrooms.
Yeah.
Let's see. I put everyone in the courtroom was talking in whispers, shaking on basically what the evidence was showing as far as their
Mm.
behavior. Um, it says part of the agreement was the jury not to hear all the bad acts the twins did. I said, wow. So that was in there. It says a number of teachers, a number of let me see, students, these boys were just terrorists. This is kind of like my notes. I said they would cuss out the teachers. Of course, we talked about, you said that, you heard that too, calling them fat,
Mm-hmm.
bees. They said came straight out of Michael Howard's mouth. He said they were kicking chairs and throwing backpacks while they were in school. That was another instance. I mean, y'all, these people, these boys, they were a piece of work. It says 7 times Austin called teachers B words from document. I think this is when they were talking about their history at the school. And so it says Hunter. Yeah, huh?
I was going to say, someone in the chat said that the reason he went to jail when he was 10 is because he broke a black girl's shoulder.
Yeah.
That must be the girl he pushed down.
Yeah.
Mm.
It's
10
crazy.
years
Yeah.
old.
And then it says Hunter would start issues and Austin would finish them. And this is from Mike Howard's mouth. It says, I just put they had a history of being terrorists. Let me see. They use the fact that they were big. They were, so they were using the fact that they were like, they were big boys. And Carmelo pretty much probably felt like he was intimidated because Carmelo would hear, different, I guess, conversations about how bad these boys were. Like they basically with the smoke. And when Carmelo basically, and he said that they surrounded him like a rap cipher, they in a U shape when they were about to, when they were about to jump him. Yeah. When they were about to jump him. So they like kind of, they surrounded him like a rap cipher. A rap cipher.
Oh, crazy.
Yeah.
Hold on, honey. Let me go to Nick at night.
Okay.
Because she was going in on them too. I can't believe they were this bad. Like 10 years old. I
They're
mean,
really
y'all came
bad.
straight to the planet acting like whole thugs.
Yep.
This is all crazy. Hold on, honey. Let me put my overlay on here. This is all so nefarious. Thugs from birth, honey. Y'all talking about me calling them thuggish, ruggish bones? That's what they were, clearly. Thuggish, ruggish twins.
Yeah.
Make it all make sense.
We heard that they were literal degenerate thugs. We heard how even starting as kids, as 10 years old, Austin Metcalf pushed a black girl down so hard that she had to go to the hospital. We heard how they had multiple assaults on women. They had multiple situations where they were getting into it with black people. They had multiple situations where there was group chats where they heavily used the N-word. They heavily had these racist rhetorics. And they were just little Jake Lang and little Chud the Builders in training. And I wonder where they got all of this from. I mean, I guess their father, the person who has the audacity to be raising these little tyrants, calling Carmelo Anthony a watermelon felon, when you have I don't know what type of felon to call your kids, but you got like true menaces to society on your hands. Like I could see if you had good children and you raised them up right and they just had this one instance where this was a tragedy, but the fact that you literally have little Chud the Builder, Jake Lang, little tyrants that you were raising that were causing all this anguish in the black community, causing all of this like menace to even their teachers, even to their parents. I'm not to call somebody a watermelon felon. Like, it's crazy to me. But it's also interesting how quickly the goalpost moves. At first, it was Carmelo, he's a horrible person, all of this stuff, because there was limited information on Metcalf thugs, these degenerates to society, these thugs in training, these little tyrants in training. There was so limited information on their behavior. All we knew was there was racist graffiti, but we didn't know the extent. All we knew was they had a history of bullying. We knew about the cheerleaders. and how they said that their hands were bisexual and they would hit men or women, which we also seen that since 10 years old, they've been putting their hands on women and being little thugs. It's just crazy that the parents would utter these words. Like, it's crazy. But it's even crazier how quickly their supporters excuse bad behavior, right? They want to say that we're biased. They want to say that we don't hold our own accountable. But it's so interesting how the goalposts have moved. They have like a laundry list of bad acts. And now it's, well, they didn't murder anybody. I mean, well, they damn sure sounded like they were close. They were making threats against a Hispanic individual at a track meet. They were jumping people at school. They were telling friends that they should kill people. I mean, they hadn't killed anybody yet, but it sounds like they were on the verge and on the way based on the text messages. And the fact that their supporters have the audacity to say that we can't hold our own accountable, but have every excuse in the book for these tyrants tells you everything that you need to know. And everything about this case has shown so much to society. Now, I did a post on my Facebook page and I said how I felt. Okay, I'm gonna share with you guys my post that I put up on my Facebook because I said, child, I'm trying to figure out when Sarah is gonna mention all of these things, because remember, she's supposed to be this investigative reporter. She's supposedly not biased, which clearly the only people that she attacked is Black people. But she's supposed to be the fact finder, the person that regardless is going to tell the facts. Well, let me see how you spin these facts on these tyrants. We all know that she's going to move the goalposts. She's going to excuse the behavior and mirror the fellow supporters in moving the goalposts and saying, oh, well, yeah, maybe they said the N-word with the hard R, but they didn't kill anybody. As if all of the other acts are not extremely problematic. Let me read to you guys my post on my Facebook page, because the girls got every excuse in the book. Okay, like if this information that we got on Austin Metcalf was on another Black individual, they would feel like, no matter what, like let's say that Carmelo was the one who was deceased and Austin was the one who killed Carmelo. If this came up about Carmelo, there would be no excuse about it. They would be saying, you know, he had this behavior, It would be a whole different thing, but we see what it is giving and we see what is being said. Now, I was supposed to go over everything that happened today in court, but because I was so delayed in starting my live, it's already 11 p.m. Okay, they resume court tomorrow and I'm going to have to be there tomorrow. So I don't have the energy and I don't have the time to go over everything. Now, in the morning when it's time to go back to the courthouse, if I have time, I'm going to try to maybe do the live at that time and just go over everything and, you know, give my opinion on certain stuff. But I just want to just quickly show y'all how the goalpost has moved. So in my post, I said, wow, Austin and Hunter Metcalf were true menaces to society. They were a danger to the community and straight racist thugs per all the testimony that came out today. Wow, wow, wow. I thought the racist graffiti was bad for Austin and Hunter, but who knew they raised straight terrorist, evil thugs who hated Black people to the degree that came out in court. Court revealed how racist they have been since they were kids and how they constantly assaulted Black people. One sent a Black girl to the hospital at 10. Can you imagine that? I said, these dudes were straight bullies. They would call the teachers the B word. They constantly got suspended and so much more. I wonder if lying ass Sarah Fields will report on every single racist thing they did and how they constantly use the hard ER when using the N-word. I bet her coverage of it will be very minimal, and she will exaggerate in place of the minimal coverage of what they had to say and her making excuses, okay? She will exaggerate the info on Carmelo and not equally call out the racist ass Metcalf thugs. Because after all, even though all she does is target Black people, she aligns herself with white supremacists and Proud Boys. She wants us to think that she's not racist because even though the individuals that she targets are Black people, she wants us to think that if she doesn't identify the Black people that she's targeting by race, then that means that she's not racist. And that means that she doesn't have an agenda out for Black people, even though the targets always are, in large part, who? Okay. So I'm waiting for the report. Okay, I cannot wait to see how this is spun, honey. I said I feel so bad for the parents who, and I meant whose children had to endure those thugs, and the people who still have to endure the twin that's left on the street to be a menace. Remember, I'm gonna pause reading right there. Remember how after the trial, Megan Metcalf went on TikTok and she talked about this incident with these cheerleaders, and she was like, oh, well, you know, and then she talked about how Hunter wanted to be in the courtroom when the verdict came out and how he was about to flip out, you know, because that's just how he gets. Remember that? Child, they raising straight thugs. I feel bad for the parents whose children had to interact with these tyrants. Now, I said, let's see. I said, ugh, what horrible parenting. And they've got the nerve to call Carmelo a watermelon with the little tyrants they raised. I said, they ought to be ashamed of themselves. So if you guys don't know, they wrote kill all Black people in green spray paint along with the KKK and Hitler stuff. They talked about guns, how they would slap Black people, how they recorded a Black boy eating a how these racist videos in their phone, how they said Eddie Parra was the N-word and so much more. I will go over all of it on my live. They are despicable. It's not even funny. The stuff on Carmelo does not even come close to the level of stuff they had in their phones and the text threads that they had and how they would jump people at school. And I meant to put harass teachers. It autocorrect and put Harris, but I meant harass. The teachers, just horrible individuals raised by terrible parents. I said to raise thugs like that. Okay, I said to raise thugs like that, I can't see how you could possibly be a good parent. I meant could. I gotta fix that. And no, the last statement about the parenting, and you know, I was just making it clear that my opinion about their parenting is not a fact. That's just how I feel. Okay. Like what came out in court is factual stuff that's on their record, but my observation is how I feel. I don't think that you are a good parent if you have seeds that are doing all of this stuff in the community and just rolling around in society unchecked.
Okay. I'm going to stop right there. Okay, I'm going to stop right there. Shout out to Nick at Night for that, honey. Let me tell you something. They absolutely were menaces to society, and Hunter probably still is, honey. He probably still hasn't learned his lesson.
Yep. He's terrible. And the thing is, it's crazy because when the dad, Jeff Metcalf, he goes on the news, you know, I mean, on that with Chris Como saying that, you know, this is like taking away his time to be working with his organization. Sir, you just made that organization, and that's a grift too.
The police.
You know, they're
Okay,
grifting, and quick to say, oh, now his tone, I feel like, has changed, because he said, well, it's 50-50 on how I feel about if he wins, you know, wins the the new trial or not. No, you're really embarrassed, sir, because you
Yeah.
are being brought to an open shame on the things that your child has done, your children have done all these years. And these boys are only 18 years old and they got a long laundry list of bad behavior. I mean, it should be, you should be very, very embarrassing. And this should show what your parenting skills are. And this organization is allegedly supposed to be helping people with their tempers and all this other, their attitudes or whatever the case may be. Sir, you really need to go to therapy yourself. How are you going to
Yes.
teach somebody? We already see the results of how you taught your boys. So let alone you're trying to start an organization to teach more kids how to be bad and terrorists. I mean, it doesn't make sense to me. But
Okay. All said, honey. And yeah, he's not the one to be trying to teach anyone how to act. You couldn't even teach your own sons when you had the chance. Okay. You
Absolutely.
couldn't even teach them when they had the chance. And like, I think you know what also got me. I'm gonna go to Willie D in a second. But what also got me is the fact when he was on Chris Cuomo, he sat there and said something about a character assassination. It isn't character assassination when it's facts.
Yep.
Now, if someone is just out here lying and making up things, that's a character assassination. But when people are telling the truth about what actually happened and who did what, that's not a character assassination.
Exactly. And those are records pulled from the school, I believe. So.
It's a darn shame.
Mhm.
Shout out to Willie D.
Mhm.
On the ground, Carmelo Anthony, new trial hearing, Collin County Courthouse. So I just came out of the courtroom and fam, there's some serious business going on in there. The prosecution, in my opinion, is getting their head beat in. But they're very arrogant, you know. That's the thing that stood out more than anything. It was arrogance, you know. But Carmelo got some heavy representation. You know, he got a dream team of lawyers led by none other than Russell Wilson. Super dupe dude. It's really hot out here, fam. There's a lot of people inside of the courtroom. These are a few people that are outside. They didn't want to be subjected to the searches and all that kind of stuff. You know what I'm talking about? But I want to talk about what the prosecutor said inside of that courtroom. The prosecutor tried to talk about Carmelo's text messages where he said that Carmelo was on the verge. On the verge of what? Obviously, he was going to take it and run with the concept of Carmelo being on the verge of wanting to harm somebody, right? But when you say on the verge, I mean, you could be on the verge of, you know, going on a date with somebody that you like. You could be on the verge of you know, quitting a hobby that you like, or even starting a hobby. You know what I mean? You could be on the verge of a lot of things, right? You could be on the verge of, you know, quitting a job. You could be on the verge of listening to your parents, you know. But you leave it up to the prosecutor. He started talking about Carmelo Anthony's text messages, and he tried to make Carmelo Anthony seem like a really horrible person. And he spoke briefly on Austin Metcalf's text messages, and well, not his text messages, but his racist graffiti, right? But he would not say that Austin Metcalf was a racist. He wouldn't go that far, but he said it without saying it. You can read between the lines when he say that this dude was reprimanded for racist graffiti. Only a racist would write racist graffiti, right or wrong. Right or wrong. What I want to know is who helped him. Normally when dudes are doing graffiti, somebody is looking out for them. Who was looking out for him? Anybody got any ideas? Yeah. So the idea that he's trying to impress upon the judge is that Carmelo Anthony is this horrible person who deserved 35 years for killing Austin Metcalf, who was really just a really good guy who maybe was accused of doing a couple of bad things. I ain't buying none of that. I said it was self-defense when it first happened, and I'm saying it's self-defense right now. And Carmelo Anthony's attorneys are arguing that there was a lot of mistakes made on the prosecution behalf. In fact, one might even say that what the prosecution did was criminal. At the very least, unethical. At the very least, unethical, which influenced the jury's decision to find Carmelo Anthony guilty and subsequently give him a 35-year sentence. Now think about that, fam. I want y'all to think about that. Even if Carmelo Anthony, even if there was some doubt that Carmelo Anthony was innocent and he was found guilty, right, by a jury of his non-peers, you really give a person 35 years for killing someone in a fight, where they're in a fight where the person who died initiated the confrontation, where the person who died confronted the person who was accused of killing them? You really give somebody 35 years who ain't never been in trouble with the law before? A kid ain't never been in trouble. People like him. People like him way more than they like the other kid. In fact, the other kid, it's documented that he was a troublemaker. He was a bully. He even bullied cheerleaders. Who the hell bullied cheerleaders, man? I never thought in my life one time that to bully a cheerleader. Cheerleaders make the school look good. Cheerleaders are beautiful.
Okay, I'm going out of here, Willie D. He's right. Who bullies cheerleaders? I literally never heard of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I literally never heard of it. It's all crazy. Okay. So anyway, y'all listen. So when are we gonna find out what the decision is, Lounge? When are we gonna find that all out?
So they said that they have to have it by Monday, and they're going to have to email it because they don't want either side to, cause conflict with whatever the results, like if it's in, Carmelo's favor, or if it's in, the state's favor. They don't want a lot of, basically, a lot of ruckus, going on with the decision. However, I was just told not too long ago, like a little bit before we went live, that the artist, I don't know if you heard this, the artist said that she was allegedly, or the artist, I don't know if it's a female or a male, was allegedly like threatened by, I don't know if it's somebody in the courthouse. And I'm thinking that they're trying to say it was a Carmelo, somebody's in support of Carmelo. But me personally, I take that as, just like when we went to the Diddy trial, Queen, the artists, they were so quick to, draw Diddy looking like an old man, and they couldn't wait to get that picture. Oh, they couldn't wait to draw that when Diddy was, remember, under the chair. They drew that real quick under the chair. So to me, from just going yesterday, just like Willie D said, Attorney Russell, he is reading them their rights. And from what I seen yesterday, I don't know how today went because I wasn't in court today, but what went on yesterday with all these bad acts and all the threats, all the intimidation that Worski and Judge Roach have done to, the employee, to, the witnesses and all these other people that had something to do with this case. I believe personally that he is going to get it. and that the reason why the artist said that, allegedly, my opinion, is because they know that this outcome is going to be great, and they don't want to draw a sketch of Carmelo probably celebrating or, in a happy mood. That's just my take and my opinion, because they don't want to see us win. They want to see us lose. Now, if they felt like he was losing, they would probably been staying there, couldn't wait to get that last sketch, So,
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
already shenanigans starting with what the decision is going to be, but it is going to definitely be emailed by Monday, because Monday is the cutoff and the deadline. So
Okay.
that is, but I did want to say one more thing
Mm-hmm.
about the case. When we were in court yesterday, Mike Howard, he really stressed how they went into the judge's chambers and they had a heated discussion. He said it was so heated because they were basically trying to get their way. Worski was trying to get his way on what he wanted to do, as far as not like pushing the door open for Carmelo to basically get any type of chance. It was so heated, and Carmelo seen that. So Carmelo told Mike Howard, I don't trust him. I don't trust him because he's seen all of what was going on. So he
Mm-hmm.
was like kind of scared to testify. So with that being said, it's like he bullied Carmelo even out of being able to testify for himself, because Worski was saying, well, self-defense cases, we want our the person, to go ahead and testify. So he pushed that and scared Carmelo so bad to where he was like, he was scared to testify. So this is just a bunch of bullying tactics. I mean, when, like Willie D said, they are very narcissistic. They are very bullish, bullheaded, and it's like their way or no way. And then one thing that I could not believe he said too, he said, it was the attorney Russell. So Russell was like basically, this, talking, presenting his case. So then he was like, well, his rebuttal to that, I guess, when he started his, I guess, going through telling what his side of, he was saying, well, this is just how we do it in Texas. So I'm like, just because that's how you do it in Texas, is that legal? Is that the legal way to do it? Is that you
Right.
just bring documents and put them in the judge's chambers because you don't want to put them on the record? That's, to me, is, I mean, I don't know law, but it sounds like that is something that shouldn't be, shouldn't be they shouldn't be able to do that, like a
Mm-hmm.
violation. But to say in front of, the whole world, this is just how we do it in Texas, basically saying we can do whatever we want to do. Who do y'all think y'all are? Very narcissistic, very bullyish. And yeah, I believe, like I said, I believe Carmelo is going to win this. And really and truly, other people in the courtroom were saying that they believe that he's gonna get the retrial, for one, and then for two, they're not gonna let this the retrial basically go through. It's basically gonna throw it out, and they're not even gonna want to
Mm-hmm.
try it, because all of the stuff that has came out that I mean, probably even more stuff that he wasn't even able to present in court, at least
Right.
yesterday and today,
Because it was so
that
much.
they're,
Yeah.
yeah, a lot of stuff. So, and Tiffany Billion, shout out to her. She's the one, if y'all don't know, she was one of the ones that went and seen the video footage of
Mm-hmm.
the track meet. But
At the
she
school.
was
Yeah.
just, yeah, she was basically saying that she doesn't think, she was one of them that was saying that she don't think that they'll go and do a second trial and let it be tried there, at least in Collins County. But I do believe that it's going to be a retrial, and then they're going to pretty much let him go, because this is too loud. They thought it was going to be silent. They thought that, this was going to be as loud as it is, and I believe he's going to win.
Yeah, well, I certainly hope so. And it would be nice if they just went ahead and just overturned the whole conviction and he didn't even
Mhm,
have to do a trial. But so we're
mhm,
going to see how it all turns out. I can't wait to find out Monday. Okay, so
mhm.
listen, the lounge, thank you for coming on here, beloved, and telling us the juicy and salacious details.
You're
Okay, and
welcome.
yes, absolutely. Thank you for
Mhm.
that. Now, let me just ask you one more thing. Was
Mhm.
there any sort of commotion? Well, I saw people celebrating outside. People seemed like they were happy and in a good mood, but did you see any sort of tensions out there like we saw last time with the Sarah Fields type crew, the maggots out there causing some
No,
trouble or whatnot?
no, and surprisingly, because I was telling Jamil, I said, there's no, I'm not saying that, there was some white people, of course, that support and know that we're being treated, Carmelo's being treated unjustly. But there was a presence of uh the what's it called? The ones that were there with the Neek, the Black Panthers. So the
Yeah,
Black
the Black
Panthers were
Panther.
there and they had like a nice little group of people, but it wasn't as crowded as when the trial was actually going on. Remember, we seen all those, crowds of
Mm-hmm.
people and stuff like that. It was a lot of white people, a lot of black people. It was none of that out there at all. And that's why I said, I do believe because they know what they did to Carmelo, that it's not going to be in their favor. So why are we going to show up? We're losing anyway. Just
Mm-hmm.
like the artist, she even trying to leave, or he's trying to leave because they see that it's working in the favor, because what we know now wasn't presented then. So of course they had the upper hand, making fun, haha, he's going to get this, like, all these different things. But now the tables have turned around. So there was not that much people there, but I didn't see, really and truly, I didn't see any people from the other side, possibly just, I guess, kind of put it like that, just Black Panthers and mostly a lot of people supporting Carmelo.
Well, that's good. That's absolutely amazing. Okay, so thank you for giving us all your information, beloved. I
You're
appreciate
welcome.
you. Okay, so y'all heard that. So I guess we'll
Mhm.
find out sometime on Monday whether there's going to be a new trial or not, and hopefully there will be. I really think it's absolutely deserved because we know he was railroaded, and now that all these other salacious details have come out, all the things that were hidden, now we know all of this stuff. And I have the transcripts, and I was reading through them, and it's just so crazy. There's like
Yes.
I want to say there's like 9 volumes of the transcripts, and I've been reading through at least like 2 of them. So
Yeah.
yeah, very interesting details. Okay, so we're going to be tuned in on Monday to see how it all turns out. So I want to thank you all for tuning in. Please like, share, subscribe. Don't forget to check for your uploads. I just uploaded a video right before this broadcast
Mhm.
because Nolan's frenemies are suing Al Sharpton.
That's
They
crazy.
sent him a letter today, so y'all go check out that upload, okay? And with that all being said, you all make sure you're following the Lounge on her YouTube channel, okay, and Facebook and everywhere she's at. Give them all your information, beloved, before we go.
So I am on TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. I'm at the Lounge 8385. And I do want to say to Queen, shout out to Queen. She's doing an amazing job. But I just want to say real quick, because sometimes I can get long-winded. Queen is about to hit 50K subscribers, y'all. So please put the fire emojis and 50K in the chat for Queen, because Queen will be celebrating probably maybe into, tomorrow, Saturday, is going to be her 50,000 subscribers celebration. So congrats.
All right. Thank you, beloved. Thank you. All right.
You're
And so listen,
welcome.
everybody. Listen, I appreciate you all. You all enjoy the rest of this evening, and I will see you all tomorrow morning with your morning wake up call. And thank you again, beloved. And I will talk to you later.
You're welcome. All
Okay?
right. Bye.
Yes. All right. Everyone, each one teach one. That's how we grow and thrive. Do something productive, constructive, but never destructive. And always remember, beloveds, to keep the Most High first in your lives. And until next time, peace.
Carmelo, young king, they tried to bury you, but the Most High see everything. Hold on, baby, we coming. Carmelo, we know they lied on you, young man. Hold on. We coming to get you. I just know God gon' reset this case. Carmelo, you coming home. Carmelo, we coming to get you home. Please protect this baby. He didn't know they was gon' do that. Hold on. Carmelo, they painted the picture all wrong. Tried to make you the villain, but the ancestors watching and the truth keep on revealing. Copper color warrior just trying to make it through. They came for your peace, now the whole hood praying for you. Eddie, you and Metcalf, y'all names ringing in the street. No, I don't think Carmelo done it. I think it was you, Eddie, and that damn Metcalf. I said what I said. The system full of lies, but the Most High ain't dead. Carmelo, to get you home. Please protect this baby. He didn't know they was gonna do that. Hold on. Carmelo. Black boy in America, they fear your very existence. One wrong move and they twist the whole damn instance. But we see you, Carmelo. Spirit too strong to break the father's child. Bloodline covered, hell can't overtake. We marching with prayers, we posting up with the facts. Soft skin folk ain't kin folk, but the real ones got your back. Peace, be still in the storm while the devil do his dance. But justice rolling in like the Mississippi in the trance. I said what I said. You ain't alone, young man.
We coming,
We coming.
we coming.
God gon' reset it. So hold it, Carmelo. We coming to get you home. From the Delta to the world, we lifting up your name strong. No more lies, no more cages for the innocent ones. The Most High got the gavel, victory already won.
Carmelo,
You coming home.
we coming to get you.
We coming.